car gone off Eagleton Edge? But that was the car that Michael and his twin brother, Adam, were in. It exploded. But they found no bodies. Oh my God. Well, good evening to each every one of you, and welcome to this week's episode of Your Manchester with me, Ms. Belinda Scandal. Now, fasten your seatbelts and get ready for one exciting roller coaster of a show. On the show today, we are going to be talking to Mr. Adam Zane. Oh yes, he's oustageous, everybody. And if this haven't not enough, we are going to be also talking to Kacey Ainsworth. As you might remember from EastEnders, she's doing something absolutely fantastic. And also, we're talking to Mr. Joe Leather as well. It's all going on, as well as people like us, here on Your Manchester. Here's how the show's looking. Joining us in studio now from the wonderfully acclaimed, critically acclaimed theatre event for the LGBT worldness, it is Mr. Adam Zane bringing us Outstageous. Adam, welcome to the show.
Hello, it's a joy to be here.
It's been a while since I've seen you.
It's been a while.
And Outstageous is still going really remarkably well, isn't it?
Yes, it's 5 years, would you believe? And it just gets better and better. The quality of theatre pieces that are submitted to us are extraordinary. So I'm really excited about this year.
So for those that don't know, what is Outstageous?
So it's all new LGBTQ writing. We have open submissions. Anyone can submit a play. And they're all read. We had 150 submissions, went down to 20, and then we've got our final 10. And we'll be on stage at the Lowry.
Now, this culminates as all one fantastic evening, doesn't it?
It is. So you get to see 10 different plays, and they're all between 5 and 10 minutes. And yeah, there's so many interesting things that people are talking about. It's really exciting.
So what can we look forward to? What's the highlight, would you say, so far of this?
Well, I'm always amazed at how much I learn myself.
Yeah.
You know, I'm obviously a part of the LGBTQ community. But there are things that I have questions about, and there are things on stage that I walk away and I go, I'm learning and I'm laughing out loud and having fun, but actually learning a lot about our community.
Yeah.
There's stuff about queer places and the importance of having spaces for us. There's a brilliant piece about what it's like to be disabled and queer and in the village, and what it's like to go to Pride if you're queer and disabled. And there's another piece about being asexual.
Yeah.
Now that's something I didn't know much about, and
yeah.
I feel like it's educated me, and it's changed my way of thinking, which is what great theatre is, isn't it?
Yeah.
We can have a laugh and make us think.
But this came down from 150 scripts. How do you go? I mean, what is the criteria to narrow it down to just the 10 plays that we see on that night?
Well, obviously a lot of it is about the quality of the work. Is it, how is it written? What's it trying to say? But then, I mean, it gets to a stage when we go, we want to represent a broad rainbow of our community. Mm-hmm. And, I want to have older lesbians, and I want to hear what young bisexual people are saying. So I think that's what makes it quite unique. It's not just one aspect of our community.
So it's
something for everyone.
It all sounds fantastic. Why did you start doing this in the first place?
I'd always wanted to do a new writing event.
Yeah.
But Outstageous as a project is really important.
Yeah.
Because it's funded by the Arts Council. Every writer is paid. Every actor on stage, every crew member is paid, and paid well.
Yeah.
So we get really good people working for us. And we're very passionate about artists being paid for their work. After everything we've been gone through with the pandemic, it's more important than ever that artists are paid.
It absolutely is,
You know,
definitely.
So
Now,
thank you to the Arts Council, really.
yeah, it's nice to have a bit of funding, isn't it? Now, tickets for this are priced at £14.50. It's going to be on the Friday and Saturday, the 15th of July, and it's going to be on at the Lowry Keys Theatre.
Yes, we're in the Keys.
How exciting. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Stay
you.
there. Well, joining us now, you may remember this lady from EastEnders, but let me tell you, if you've seen her on stage, you'll know it is a whole different ballgame when you get to see her on stage. She is one of these fantastic actresses that manage to encapsulate heart and mind within every performance she does. And yes, she was Little Mo, but let's meet her now. This is, of course, Kacey Ainsworth. Welcome to the show, Kacey.
Hello. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, this is just fantastic. I mean, everybody will remember you from EastEnders. How does that make you feel still, even to this day?
Oh, I think it's brilliant. You know, I really loved her as a character. She was an amazing character, and she was, you know, very different from the other sisters. And I think it's a real privilege to have played somebody that people remember like 20 years later. I mean, that's what you always want, isn't it? You always want a character that you've played that people years and years ago will say, "Oh, weren't you Little Mo?" It's great. I don't have any problem being reminded of it at all.
Okay, let's focus on this then. Now, you're coming to our lovely fair city, well, Salford, and you're coming to the Hope Mill Theatre, and you are bringing us, well, something that you weren't originally considering doing, but apparently you read it for 19 pages and you thought, this is something you've got to do. What is it?
So I got a phone call. I was out for having lunch with my cousin, and I got a phone call saying, "You've got to read this script, and you've got to tell us within an hour whether you want to do it." So obviously I knew something had gone wrong with it in the production where somebody had left or whatever. But I thought, right, okay, my cousin's in the business as well, so it's easy. He just went, "Go and read your script, I'll stay here." So he finished his lunch on his own solo, and I went off and read the script, and within within 10 pages, I was going, yeah, I want to do this.
What is the story all about? Tell us all about this.
Well, it's about family recollections of historical events. And that's really loosely what it's about. It's about lots of things. But I don't know about you, but in my family, I can have had the same Christmas as my sister had, my cousin had, my mum and dad had, and we all have a different recollection of that Christmas. Everybody says, you know, it was either great or awful, or there was a good thing or a bad thing. There's amazing the things that you don't remember from your childhood that then get recounted and retold over the years that then possibly might change a little bit.
It sounds. I'm going to come and watch this because I think it sounds absolutely fantastic. For now, though, thank you so much for your time today, Kacey, and have a fantastic run and a lovely short rehearsal period. Keep you on your toes.
Oh, makes me feel sick.
Thank you. Okay, then, still to come, everybody, on our show tonight, we're going to be speaking to Elgan, Leah, Thomas. We're also speaking Titanic with Bree Smith, and we're going to be meeting Mr. Joe Leather. Stick around.
I'm here in the town of New Mills to meet Shauna Sharbel, an aspiring singer and songwriter. Little does Shauna know that in the days to come, I'll be setting her onto one of the biggest emotional journeys of her life. Tell me a bit more about yourself. What do you do?
I'm a singer-songwriter.
How long have you been doing it for?
I have only been songwriting since we started in lockdown, was when I started to kind of make more music with the lyrics. I've been singing for as long as I can remember.
What was it about lockdown then that actually spurred the singing and songwriting to take off for you?
I'm quite a quiet person in general.
Yeah.
And being stuck in the same room, same four walls every day.
Yeah.
Kind of inspired me to write more about how I was feeling.
So, songwriting, singing, do you do covers or do you write your own music now then?
I do a bit of both. I do covers in college and for gigs and stuff, but at home I do write my own music and make it in college.
What course are you studying?
Vocal artist on first year of level 3.
Okay, was that hard for you to take that leap to get there, or did you just kind of take it and go for it?
Oh, I was petrified. I'm not even gonna lie. The first day of college I was like, I'm not going in, I'm not doing it. And then I met a girl outside, and she took me in, and we're now best friends. I'm guessing,
obviously, doing a vocal artist course, you're going to have to sing in front of people.
Yeah.
Had you ever done that before?
I've done high school gigs and stuff, sung in front of people at Christmas concerts, and in primary school doing carols in front of shops and stuff.
This is right outside your house, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what is it about walks and places like this which help you so much?
It's more my mental health than anything else, really. I struggled with it really, really badly throughout high school, and then coming into college was like, oh my God, I'm in the city. Like, I'm from the countryside. It's never busy here.
You're from here?
Yeah, I'm from here. It's not busy at all.
I mean, I could literally just sit out here and look, because personally I love walks. Me, my parents and my family, we'd always go on walks all the time, like every Sunday. Sunday was the day. Now especially that I'm, you know, doing so much, it's just like...
Yeah, it's like, just give me a break.
Today is the day that Shana will be busking for the first ever time. Hopefully this will give her that leap in confidence to take on what else I've got in store for her later this week, but also to get her name out there even more. I'm back in her hometown of New Mills, ready to speak with her dad about where the passion that Shana holds for music came from. Hi, Ollie, nice to meet you.
Hi, Chris.
So you're Shana's dad,
Yes.
then. Has Shana always had this passion for singing since she was a child?
Yes, she has. She's sung birthdays for everybody. She does everything for singing. She just loves it.
Within her, what do you see that can get her far?
I think more practice and getting out there and letting people see what she can do.
Yeah.
And to get more people following her so that she can get self-expression, you know, of what she does and how she does it.
She has had that struggle with confidence within her singing. Do you think that by her getting out there and doing more, she'll be able to overcome that?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely she'll be a lot better when she's singing. It's a totally different person. If she's speaking to somebody, she's very shy, not very good, but when she gets that first initial song out the way, she'll sing all day.
And obviously today, Shana is going to be busking for her first ever time. That is a big step.
Yes.
How do you feel for her going into that?
Well, me as a dad, scared for her to do it, because obviously there's that many people out there that are talented in different ways. But, you know, they've got to start somewhere in life, and I think it's a good start for Shana to do.
We're here in Manchester. We're currently at New Cathedral Street, and down there, Market Street, is where you are going to be performing, busking for the first ever time. Why haven't you busked yet?
I never had the equipment or the confidence.
Okay.
Or the courage.
Right.
All of the above.
All of the above.
All of the above.
Why is it that you feel now you can do it?
I feel like since starting college, I've come out of my shell so much more than what I was. Like, first day in college, I wouldn't even walk in. Yeah. And now, like, I'm running in and out.
I mean, it is really incredible to see someone who struggles with their confidence to be up there, first ever time busking. Not only busking anywhere, but on the dead centre of Market Street. I can't imagine how Chris, her dad, is feeling after this. I'm not old enough to really have a daughter, but if I had a daughter, I know that I would be proud in this moment.
And you kicking me out, it's got my head spinning. No kidding, I can't pin you down. What's going on in that beautiful mind? I'm on your magical mystery ride, and I'm so dizzy, don't know what hit me, but I'll be alright. I'm so powerful, I don't need batteries to play. I'm so confident, yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. I'm unstoppable today.
Shana, I mean, well done. That was absolutely amazing. How are you feeling afterwards?
It's obviously it's something I never thought I'd ever do.
Yeah.
But I feel great. Like just me singing could have made somebody else's day. It's definitely made mine, because it's obviously the big passion, and I just feel I'm very proud and happy with myself.
You should be. And it's a massive achievement. And I was even talking to your dad halfway through, and I said the people walking past, even if they didn't stop, you could see them singing the lyrics. Unstoppable.
I heard people singing it around me, and I was
How did that make you feel in the moment?
I felt more powerful then.
And obviously for you, like, first ever time for Shana to do anything as big as this.
Yeah.
How are you feeling now?
Proud, very proud. Can't wait to see her do it again. But the people that were stood there, they were at the side, they were nodding their heads, they were getting into the groove, and I don't know whether you were aware of it, Jan, but they were. Everyone.
Well, next up, you've got a gig that you are going to be headlining.
Wow.
Are you feeling ready for that?
Yeah, this has made me more ready.
I mean, you've done it in the busiest place. A gig that you're headlining, it's amazing. But I mean, you've done it in front of probably thousands of people today. So all I can say is you should be proud of yourself.
You should be proud, Done well, girls, done well.
This is it, the moment that I've been waiting for. Over the last 3 weeks, I've met 3 incredible individuals. And for Shana, a few months ago, she would have never thought that she'd be performing in front of a live studio audience. Are you feeling more confident, nervous for Shana?
More confident, because I know she'll do it.
Forget about everyone and forget about everything that's around you.
Take a deep breath. Deep breath. You smash your name, you smash your name.
Well, Titanic the musical is heading its way back to the Lowry with all things going on. I wanted to speak to one of the cast members. Being in Titanic, is it too close to the knuckle at the moment of everything that's going on in the news? One person could tell us, and that was Bree Smith.
It's a little bit scary, you know, because obviously videos and robots have been down there to capture it, but no one has been so close to it because it's literally at the bottom of the ocean until obviously recently the tragedy that happened. It brings the fact that it's real. All the characters we're playing are real life characters that were on the ship. It was a real tragedy, and it's a little bit surreal actually.
Now, you mentioned, of course, that you are all playing real life characters. You're playing the wonderful Louisa Bean, one of the survivors, without giving too much away. I mean, how much research have you done into her character and her life, indeed?
So they changed, that was her real name, and then my character's called Alice Bean, because they slightly changed the characters. But I actually went to the Titanic Museum when we were in Belfast, and I could see her name on the list of survivors. I did a bit of research just on Google, finding out about her family, what she did on the ship, how old she was, things like that. As much information as I could, which is quite little for her, because she was very young at the time. She went on the ship when she was 19. But I got as much information as possible, and then I just added my own creative flair to the character, or whatever the text said in the script, and made the character that way.
Creative flair is something that this musical must have used quite a lot, because, you know, the very story itself is a tragic story. And to set it to music, I mean, at first glimpse, people would think Titanic, a musical. I mean, how do you put it to heart? What type of feel do we get? And what is indeed, obviously, we know the story of how it ends. It's one of them rarities where we know the story. But how does this musical tackle, you know, the issues, the lives of these people?
So in the first act, which is a whopping 70 minutes, I think, or 75 minutes is the first act. Second act is 45 minutes. First act is, you don't, only right at the end, again, no spoilers, do you know exactly what's going to happen, but it's how life is on board in all the different classes as well, first class, second class, and third class. I play a second class passenger, and I want to get to first class. It shows the kind of richness of the Titanic, how big it was. It was the fact that it was the first floating vessel of that size of the time. It was said as an unsinkable ship. But the music, sorry, I got a little bit of a cold. The music was is delightful. It's orchestrated beautifully. There's comedy in it. There's legit a little bit operatic, a little bit of jazz as well. It's a gorgeous show to be part of.
It's just fantastic. I suppose I want to ask you in just a few words why people should book tickets to come and see this.
Because it's all about love. It's all about hope. It's all about new beginnings. And yes, it has a tragic end, which we all know. But the music is delightful. The choreography is great. And I'm in it.
And Titanic the musical is coming to the Lowry very, very soon, and we're very excited about it. Here's all the details that you need to make sure you get your tickets for that wonderful, wonderful show. But what happens if you combine the music of the LGBTQ plus community composers and poets with a man from Wales? Well, to tell us more, joining us now is Elgan Ilyr Thomas. And I know, Elgan, you're going to tell me I pronounced that wrong. How do you pronounce it?
It wasn't bad, honestly. Elgan Ilyr Thomas. The middle one is really tricky, so you know.
Say it again for me.
So it's Elgan Ilyr Thomas.
All right. It sounds more Spanish than Welsh, but it's the taking part that counts. Now, you have got a wonderful, wonderful album being released by Delphin Records. Tell us all about this wonderful music. I've listened to it, and it's enchanting. And the best thing I like about it is you'd expect a tenor of your capacity to go with a full-scale orchestra. You've kept it so simplistic and beautiful, haven't you?
I have. I mean, that really was the sort of aim. I was kind of growing for. I'm an opera singer by trade, if you like, and I really felt like I wasn't getting to put across my whole self in that art form. It's getting better in opera. We are getting more queer representation on operatic stages, but it takes time to write these operas, and it takes a lot of money. So all the composers, bar one, and or poets are all queer from 20th century to today.
Obviously, with the way that laws were back in them days, a lot of these people wouldn't be known as queer at all. So, you know, going back over how do you go about choosing this from this huge source of material when I suppose a lot of their history was stomped upon?
Yeah, it really was. So there, I mean, I could have filled like 6 CDs worth of music, but I started with a song cycle by Benjamin Britten, who was, you know, he lived a very open secret. You know, it was completely illegal to be gay, but he and his life partner, Peter Pears, who was a tenor, and he wrote lots of his music for him. And they sort of lived this strange life in Suffolk where people who knew them knew, and others, probably the Queen definitely knew, but yet they weren't allowed to actually ever say it. And so Benjamin Britten chose to set 7 of Michelangelo's sonnets. Of course, Michelangelo was gay, and these poems are some of the first we've got that are written from one man to another man.
Amazing. Now, Unveiled will be released on Delphin Records on the 23rd of June. Well, it has been released on the 23rd of June, and the launch party is going to be tomorrow for this launch concert, rather, at Wigmore Hall at 1 p.m. tomorrow. It's exciting. Are you nervous? Excited? How do you feel about unveiling all this?
I'm like a little bit terrified. A lot of the songs haven't been heard in this way before, and the songs I've composed have, of course, never really been heard. And this is my sort of coming out as a composer as well. So I've not done that before. So I'm like extra scared for people to hear those. But I just hope people like it ultimately and find that they can relate to the repertoire that I've recorded.
Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you. All right, then let's move on. I'm joined over here now by Mr. Joe Leather, everybody. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
This is your real name?
It is my real name,
It's bizarre. I've never met a person with the surname Leather.
I mean, I always say I wouldn't have chosen it. So,
No.
yeah.
Now, you're about to embark in a similar sort of aspect of what I do. You're going to be putting on the drag.
I am.
But it comes from total truth and total honesty, because tell us the story. What were you doing during lockdown?
So over lockdown, I got a job as a bin man, like council refuse loader. But I was also doing drag in the evenings. So I've written a show that kind of combines those two things about a bin man who wants to be a drag queen.
Why would a bin man want to be a drag queen? Tell me. Is this what you wanted to do?
Well, I think like everybody can benefit from drag, right? And just because you work in this world that's maybe a bit more like heteronormative and like masculine led, it's all about like the joy that we can all find through exploring our gender expression. And
why did you end up being a bin man?
I am basically.
Do we call them bin men anymore, or do we call them waste disposal
people? I don't know. I don't know. It's because I didn't have a job. Obviously, lockdown was happening. I couldn't perform, which is what I usually do. So I got a job in a shop that shut down. And then it actually paid really well, and I realised it wasn't going to go anywhere. So I was like, I'll do this for a little bit.
And you've set all this to a show. Tell us about the show that you're going to be bringing us.
Yeah, so the show is called Waste Man, and it's kind of like an hour-long play with songs about a bin man. I was born in Bolton, so it's about a northern bin man who wants to be a drag queen and his journey to like discovering that.
It's fantastic. So describe what we can see when we come and watch this then.
I mean, you can see singing, dancing and the splits, but you also see kind of like some really nice costumes and then some very like serious truths as well. It doesn't shy away from the emotional side of it either.
So it isn't just all set in comedy then, it's got quite a heart to it as well.
I call it comedy drama actually. So it's one of the, I like to make people laugh, make them love you, and then get them with the like feelings, you know.
So putting this together then, what have you drawn upon, other than obviously your real experiences? What can we expect as a story from this, a narrative?
I mean, I took the character of like, I was very lucky when I was growing up, my family let me play with dolls and all those kinds of things, you know, whereas I thought about what if there was a person who didn't have that in their life. So I've created this character who's a bit lost. He's got a partner who isn't really into him doing drag either. He's got these obstacles to get over on his journey to finding his like inner truth.
It sounds amazing. Now, listen, you've been nominated a few times now. A twice often nominated writer and performer. An Offie is?
An Offie's an Off West End Award.
That's amazing.
So, so
would you think this show has the legs to carry on to maybe go on to other places and things?
I mean, so I'm taking it to the Edinburgh Fringe after the Greater Manchester Fringe. I'm taking it there for a month. And then I'm in kind of chats with a few production companies beyond that. So I'm really hopeful because I think drag stories just need to be told more and more. So I'm very optimistic for its future.
Well, I think this sounds fantastic. I really, really do. Where can we find this then? You mentioned the Greater Manchester Fringe. Which particular...
So I'm around the corner at the King's Arms
lovely.
On the 5th and 6th of July at 7 o'clock.
It's going to be amazing. Tickets will sell out for this, I'm sure.
I hope so.
You know, you should have a word. You should have a word with that Adam Zane from Outstage.
It seems really nice.
You should put it in there, shouldn't you?
What? Me?
Yes, you, my love.
I shall sell a few tickets, I'm sure.
There we are. You see, it's all marvellous. It sounds really exciting. Check you out on Leather My Joe.
Yes. Joe Leather was taken.
Because that's your real name, isn't it? I like it. It's amazing. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to head over here now, I do believe. Well, that concludes another episode of Your Manchester for this week. But make sure you tell all your friends to watch, subscribe, like, and basically love the entire world that we bring you, because every story is worth telling here at Your Manchester. I'll see you all very, very soon. Oh, don't forget, next week, Ollie going to Backyard Cinema. It's what to watch. Till then, thanks for watching this week's episode of Your Manchester.